What is going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody? My name is JeffLightsyJr. This is the Victor Formation Sports Show. We got a special guest today, offensive lineman commit to the I Love Jackson State, Mr. Jackson King out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Jackson, how's it going, man?
It's going good. How about you?
Hey, I'm awesome, man. I'm awesome. I gotta ask, man. You don't see a lot of football players in general, but especially ones that come to the South from Milwaukee. So what I have to ask you is who got you into the game, man? Who got you into football? When did you start playing, and how was your upbringing as far as it goes in Milwaukee?
So I come from a big football family. Like my uncles, they played in high school. My dad played in high school. My cousins played in high school, and like they never went on to like do things in college. So I would be like a first generation college football player, which is kind of nice now that I think about it. But it started watching the Packers on Sundays, and I saw like Clay Matthews, B.J. Raji, and I'm sitting there with my dad and uncles, and I'm like, I want to do that. And it was funny enough that my dad had a friend that had a youth football league, and I was four. And ever since then, I've been playing.
Absolutely, man. That's awesome, man. Talk to me about high school. What was your high school experience like in Milwaukee playing ball? Like you said, you think of Milwaukee football, you think of the Packers, the Badgers. But what was your high school experience like for you?
So my high school experience, I would say, is not like the typical experience because with my size and stature coming in as a freshman, like I went to like summer workouts with the high school because I knew some people on the team already. And so I talked with the coaches and they was like, yeah, you're on varsity coming in. So it, it
I
was
bet.
kind of funny. It was kind of funny because the guys on the freshman team like, when you gonna come help us out? And I'm like, I want to come play for y'all and I want to get quality reps, but the coaches wanted me to sit back and watch the starters and develop. But at the time, I didn't realize that I'm a freshman just looking for playing time. But my experience playing in the city, I would say, it's kind of like a hindrance because like MPS doesn't have like the best competition looking like say the Classic 8 or the Parkland with Catholic Memorial. We don't really get to play like that type of competition until we get to the playoffs. And
Mhm.
sometimes we're not really prepared, but I say playing in the city has been a blessing because it had introduced me to so many things and so many people. And if I had to do it all over again, I would.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome to hear. Now, you spoke some about your freshman year, how you kind of watched the varsity. When did you actually start to get to playing, and when did it kind of come to you? And what position, for the people that don't know, what position do you play?
So I play right tackle and I'm a backup defensive tackle.
Okay.
Yeah. But I
And
started
you
playing
said,
varsity junior year.
okay. Yeah, junior year. Okay, so you got on the field varsity junior year. What was that like when you finally got your opportunity to get out there on those Friday nights?
A shell shock.
Why you say that, man? What
A sh-
happened?
it was a shell shock because like the city, like MPS, we didn't have no spring ball like all the other conferences due to COVID. So we were completely
Yeah.
shut down. We didn't get a chance. So I've been in the house for a year and a half. I did my little workouts, but I haven't did anything like contact football related. So me coming in, it was a shell shock my first game, and I did get injured, but like that just unlocked my drive to be the best, like the best player on the field. And me winning second team all conference that year even added more to the flame. Like, all right, I felt disrespected. Michael Jordan. That's when I got offended. Like there's somebody better than me in the city. Like, okay, now it's really time to lock in. So, but it was a shell shock because like you're used to just moving people around, but once you hit the varsity level, it's a genuine challenge. And
Mhm.
like, yeah, it was a shell shock.
Now, as far as you talk about, the things that were happening on varsity and whatnot, when did recruiting kind of start for you? Did that? I'm assuming that started late, and what was that kind of like for you?
So my recruiting story is like it's pretty similar to any kid that comes out of Milwaukee. You do a few camps here and there, but I would say it started beginning of my junior year because I had a teammate who went to NIU. He committed there and he's playing there now, Javon Bird. And so the offensive line coach was recruiting me and my teammate, Nate White, like the start of our junior year. And it kind of took off from there. By the end of my junior year, I received an offer from Augustana, which is a D2 school in South Dakota, and then
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota State, and then other schools started reaching out between Wisconsin, NIU, Northern Iowa, and so it's Illinois State as well. But it's just been like talks, like nobody really put an offer out there due to the fact that I only had like my junior film and then my senior film. I didn't have a sophomore year, so they were kind of
Mm-hmm.
hesitant. But I just went out there and was like, I'm gonna prove why you should offer me. Yeah.
And so you talk about those schools. Those are mainly schools in your area. When does a
Yeah.
school like Jackson State get involved with your recruitment, and how does that kind of work?
So when I found out Deion was going to JSU, I was like, what is JSU? Why is JSU so special? And so I started looking into it and doing research, and I'm like, oh man, like Walter Payton went to JSU, like sweetness. I'm like, okay. So I looked into it. They had my major that I want to do, and then like I just started sending my film. Like I started sending it to the now head coach TC Taylor. I started sending it to the old offensive line coach, the wide receivers coach, like anybody that had something to do with offense. They had my film from junior year to all the way to the end of my senior year because it's like I want to be in Jackson. I want to play in that atmosphere.
Absolutely, man. That's awesome. So you spoke about, Deion Sanders. He moves on. And so even with him moving on, what made you still want to be there at Jackson State and be a part of what's going on there?
So I had took HBCU tour with my school, and we were touring like Clark, Atlanta, Morehouse, Alabama State, Miles, and Jackson State. So I went down there and like I got a chance to meet with the coaches, and I got to talk with them and see the chemistry. And I'm just like, oh yeah, I still want to come here. Ain't nothing changed. If anything, I would say like they're bonding more to like make up for what the media has done to break them down. Like it's more of a brotherhood than I would say before, like when Dion was there.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And that's great to hear the fact that you were able, so you have been on campus. What are some of the ways, from what you can, tell me, you can tell the world, what are some of the ways and how do they see you fitting into what they have going on there at Jackson State?
So when I told them that I wanted to be a civil engineer, they was like, you're a smart kid. We could tell we need smart offensive linemen. And they weren't just looking at me like per se a piece of meat that could look good, like a showpiece, but they were genuinely interested in what I wanted to do outside of football. And like Coach O, I had a conversation with him. He was like, man, I could tell you're a smart kid. And he was like, I want you here. Like, I'm not even gonna sell you this dream that you're gonna start as a freshman and all that. Like, you're a smart offensive lineman. We have the tools that you need to be successful, not just on the field, but outside the field, whether it be with me wanting to pursue a civil engineering or my non-profit organizations that I wanted to start. They genuinely believe in what I want to do and are willing to invest in that. And you can't really find that in the world right now. So if I got an opportunity for that, I'm gonna take it. And that's why I did.
Man, that's awesome to hear, man. And first of all, congratulations to you, man. You sound like you got real head on your shoulders. That's typically how my conversations go. I like to see what people like to do outside of football. And to hear that you want to be a civil engineer, what kind of brought that upon? What made you want to be a civil engineer?
So that honor goes to my great aunt Faye, who lives in Chicago. She gave me a box of like wooden crates. Like it was a milk crate full of wooden pieces, and like I would just spend hours designing water parks, buildings, highways. And I told my mom, I'm like, this is what I want to do in my life. And she was like, oh, you want to be a civil engineer? I'm like, whatever, like design water parks and build buildings. Like that's what I want to do because it allows my creativity to flow and run wild. And
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. Once again, we're talking to Jackson King, offensive lineman, commitment to Jackson State. Be sure to hit that like button now. Now, Jackson, as far as the HBCU movement and different things that are taking place at HBCUs, you spoke about seeing on TV what Jackson State was doing. Like, yo, I want to go there. What specifically was it about what you saw on TV that attracted you? That said, hey, that's a place I can see myself at.
I was when JSU first had their game on ESPN. That really opened my eyes to it because I'm like, okay, now we're getting national attention. Now HBCU sports are being put in front of the whole world and not just the black community or those who know or those who are in that area, like people who are fans of the SWAC or the MEAC. Like we are now getting national attention. Therefore, if it's by my people for my people, I want to push my people forward and help them grow and earn what PWIs are earning. Now, I ain't going to sit here and say it's going to happen immediately, but if I could be the one little piece that pushes us forward in the long run, I'm going to do it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. That's very well spoken, especially seeing that coverage. And you see at least for me, from my perspective, you see every day HBCU, the coverage of it continues to grow. There's more outlets, there's more people talking about it. There's more player interviews like this. And I think that's only going to push, everything forward. Now, as far as you spoke about a nonprofit, man. What nonprofit kind of is there an idea of which you haven't started yet, but you said that you want to do one? What idea is kind of behind the thought process about starting a nonprofit?
So, with me, like I have a lot of hidden talents. I consider myself a Renaissance man. So, I like to
Yeah.
dabble in multiple things. Like, I like to cook, I like to bake, I like to write poetry, I like to sing. So, my nonprofit idea would be to encourage those kids that are scared to share those talents because the world outshines them with athletics. Like, yeah, I'm gifted athletically, but I also have these other talents that can make money, if not more than what my athletics can. Because athletics, your body is going to wear out eventually. But if you have like a non-contact skill, you can make money pretty much your whole life. So that nonprofit idea would be to promote that and get kids exposure to do that and give them what I didn't have.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. The fact that you want to use your platform and your space, your time, your gifts to be able to, to bless someone else, man. That's an awesome way of looking at things. Talk to me about Milwaukee, man. You guys had some cool stuff happening in the city of Milwaukee. What was it like when the Bucks won the championship there?
Oh man. So I was there in the Deer District the night. So I live like a couple minutes away. So me and my family, we walked down there. The atmosphere was electric. No, we got the chant Bucks and six, and that's and I'm glad I was able to experience that because excuse me, not many people can say they had the camaraderie. Like it wasn't a race thing. It wasn't where you're from, like whether you're on from Wauwatosa, Waukesha. You came to downtown Milwaukee to support Milwaukee's team. It didn't matter what color you are. You were there to have a good time, and we ended up celebrating the win. Now afterwards, I can't speak on that because stuff happens. But during the time that I was there, Milwaukee is just a great city. Like we pull together for the right reasons and we support each other. And I like the city. It's real cool.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome, man. So now with your family being there in Milwaukee and you deciding to play ball at Jackson, do you think you'll ever get homesick, man? I don't know how far that is, but it seems like a nice little trip. Do you think you might miss mom, might miss pops and everything, some home cooking? Like what do you think any of that'll linger?
So my my family is originally from Covington, Tennessee, and they moved to Memphis, which is a 2-hour drive from Jackson. So if I want home
Okay.
cooking, I could definitely hop on the highway and just go to Memphis. But I think that me being like missing home in Milwaukee, like with football and school going on, I don't think I'll miss it to the off season because like I'm gonna be so caught up. Like I'm gonna do big things this season, so I'm just gonna be locked in and focused. And yeah, I'll probably miss my mom nagging me, but it wouldn't be too detrimental.
I got you,
But
man. I got you now.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, Jackson, man. So I want to ask you, were you able to follow along with what Jackson State was doing last year? And if so, what was your thoughts on their season, the totality of the season, and then even how they finished it?
So I caught a couple of games, like some key ones would be Southern games actually, and then the
Mhm.
Alcorn State game, and then I always watch the Orange Blossom Classic because that's so awesome. That's like an awesome game to watch, and hopefully I get to experience it. And then the Celebration Bowl. So in totality, I would say there are some moments where it got lackadaisical, but also like you see them wanting to win, and you know maybe that just was the players on the field, or maybe sometimes you could get cocky when you're blowing teams out. I understand that because I've done that myself. But in total, they are definitely representing the SWAC and showing the world like, hey, we don't play down here. Like we about business. And how they finished the season, as a fan, I was sad. I was definitely I punched the couch in overtime. I definitely punched the couch, and I'm like, ugh. But now me being like a future player and being a person who has been in that situation, I just think back to John Witherspoon, may he rest in peace. You win some, you lose some, but you live to fight another day, and that's just how we got to be as athletes. What doesn't kill you make you stronger. So if you gotta take the
Absolutely,
loss
man.
on the chin and move on.
Absolutely. And they lost to a great opponent. I mean, it wasn't like they lost to a soup sandwich. North Carolina Central was a great team. They had a great
Yeah.
season. And so, hey, and it was an overtime game, first Celebration Bowl to go into overtime. It was an amazing atmosphere. I was there. It was awesome, man. I want to ask you about just so you're just for clarification, everybody, Jackson, this class of 2023, you're going to be at Jackson this fall. Do you have plans? Do you know when you'll get to campus, when you're on the roll and different things like that?
So I will be at campus on I think around June 26th because I will be doing summer school and enrolling to get 5 credits before my fall semester. So I'll be there on campus, and I'm pretty sure that'll lead right into fall camp and the start of the season.
Absolutely. And for the folks that don't know at home, Jackson is a preferred walk-on, but you told us that you ain't paying for school. How is that getting paid for?
So when I applied there, I had the 3.1 GPA and a 23 score on the ACT, and I qualified for a full tuition scholarship, the True Blue scholarship at Jackson State.
Talk to me. Nice, Jackson. That is what I'm talking about, man. Full scholarship. He said he's getting a civil engineer, full tuition scholarship, civil engineer. That means the man's going to be in the books. Do you think it's going to be tough? I mean, because engineering degree ain't no. I've been to college. Engineering degree is tough. Do you think it's going to be tough balancing football with getting an engineering degree?
I would say once I get past my prerequisites and actually start doing engineering work, it may get tough, but I'm on a mission and I got goals I want to achieve. And if I gotta stay up to 2 a.m. doing homework, well, hey, that's just something I gotta do.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Now, Jackson, when you told your folks, you told them like, "Hey, I'm going to Jackson State. I'm committing to go play for Coach TC Taylor." What was mom's reaction? What was dad's reaction? What was the family's reaction? Let them know that, yeah, that school that was on game day and all that. Yeah, I'm going to that school and playing ball for them.
It was utter excitement, especially my family like down south because like I rarely get to see them. So they was like, "He's going to Jackson? He's 2 hours away." oh, my baby coming home. Oh, I'm so excited. I get to see him play. And it was honestly like just a wave of excitement because like now family members that I rarely get to see, I get to see them and build connections and they get to see me play football. So yeah, it was
That's
awesome,
awesome.
you know.
That's awesome, man. That is what we love to hear. Now, you talked about wanting to build parks. You talked about the foundation, and you talked about some of your talents outside of football. Just you spoke about those talents, but what are some? Or do you enjoy doing all those things, cooking, singing? And if so, what is your go-to dish that you like to make, man?
Okay, so cooking I enjoy because as a youngin, like my grandmother, like her being the matriarch, she has this like thick recipe book that I told my uncles and I told my mom, I'm like, well, Lord forbid, but when she passed on, that's mine. Like y'all can have everything
Mm.
else. The recipe book is mine because I would sit there for hours just watching her cook and learning how to make dishes that she would make for special events, whether it be a birthday or Thanksgiving or Christmas. And I took an interest in that. And my go-to dish, oh man, it's so many of them.
Oh man.
Occasion, yeah. What's the occasion?
Okay, let's say the occasion is, let's say it is, it's a celebratory. We're celebrating Jackson's commitment to JSU.
Okay, so throwing grill. I'm definitely grilling. So it'll be ribs, barbecue chicken, and probably whoever bring a steak. I'll make them a steak too.
Ooh. So you a grill master too? Cooking and grilling, those different. You the grill master too? Now, come on, man. Come on
I
with it,
wouldn't say it. I wouldn't say a grill master because my uncles will
man.
clown me. But look, so yeah.
Hey, well, the tailgates at JSU are legendary. You'll be playing, so you really won't get to see it all. I get to hang out at the tailgate. But if you ever get a chance to, for whatever reason, if you come down to spring game, are you going to be able to make it to the spring game?
I'm trying. I'm trying. I'll see, and
Okay,
I will
well,
let you know.
that sounds good, man. If you're able to make the spring game, you'll get to see the tailgating. And I mean, you talk about, I don't know what the tailgates are like at Milwaukee. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. I ain't never seen a tailgate like that. I've been to thousands of football games, thousands of sporting events. Never seen a tailgate like the one I seen in Jackson. It's awesome. Your family will enjoy it, that's for sure. Both from Memphis and Milwaukee, all of them gonna enjoy it. The tailgate at JSU, and there's some real grill masters out there for sure. Jackson, I'll get you out on this, man. Just what are your expectations for yourself as far as not just as an athlete, but as a student as well, attending Jackson State this upcoming fall?
To compete. That's my expectations. Take the wins with all. Let's take the upset with the triumphant. Just go in there with a Lions mentality. Like I'm gonna conquer. I'm gonna prove the reason why I'm here. I'm not just here off the coincidence that I'm 6'4" and 330. There's a reason why I'm playing, and there's the reason.
Absolutely, man. Once again, we're talking to Jackson King, the offensive lineman commitment to JSU. Is going to go play for Coach TC Taylor. Now, Jackson, have they told you what position that you're going to play? And if so, what? And how you feel like you're going to be able to mesh well with that O-line group?
So it's looking like I'll be playing guard. I'm not I'm not stood side by side with him and took a picture. And my classmates was like, we were having a hard time trying to figure out which one was you, but then they differentiated me. I would say I would mesh with the group well because when I met them, they were welcoming and they was like, dude, come, like please, we need smart offensive linemen, like because you never know when one is going to go down. You never know when you're going to get your chance to shine because offensive line is the one position where you could put certain people in certain places and they're like chess pieces. Like you can move them around and do special things with them. So I think our group, especially with the two other commits in our class, it's gonna be something to look forward to, and we're gonna put on a show.
Absolutely. Well, that's a great place to end it. Jackson King, offensive lineman commitment. He's headed to play for Coach T.C. Taylor and the JSU Tigers. Jackson, congratulations again, man. Especially good luck on all your future endeavors, man. We'll stay in contact. I'll definitely be watching from afar, man. Once again, that's Jackson King. He's going to go play for JSU, class of 2023, 6'4", 330, offensive lineman. Thank you so much, man. Thank you all for tuning in.